Good evening, everyone. This is MSY's Research Notes. Yesterday, I have talked about the participants and methodology part. And today, I'll move to the next part, which is the results part. And before today's research notes, I have to update my current academic progress. And today, I have already finished the first part of my literature review, which is foreign language enjoyment as a malleable construct or malleable emotion. Well, in this part, I firstly introduced foreign language enjoyment from its origin, which is positive psychology. And then I introduced the introduction of positive psychology into second language acquisition, and then the concept of foreign language enjoyment, and moved to its malleable nature. Current or the existing studies have mainly focused on two broad domains, which are the learner internal and external variables, and I introduced external variables in great detail, including the functions of the teachers and how teacher can have an impact on the atmosphere, which can also affect foreign language enjoyment. So this is probably the basic structure of this part. And after introducing the function of teachers, I also said something about the constraints or the conditions that teachers' function can be fulfilled. And there are three different types of layers. The first is teachers' individual layers, and the second is contextual layers. For example, the administrative support and colleague cooperation, and those factors belong to the second layer. And third layer is this kind of relational imbalance between teacher and students. So based on this kind of imbalance, I then introduced the near-peer teaching or near-peer teachers, which can complement the shortcomings of in-service teachers and naturally lead to my new pedagogical approach, which is PRTB. So this is actually the first paragraph. The first chapter of the literature review part, and tomorrow I will try my best to finish the second chapter, which is the theoretical foundation of PRTB. And in this section, I will introduce three different theories. The first theory is about the identity or the identity advantages of near-peer teachers, and the second theory is how teachers utilize their identity and translate their identity advantages into some real classroom behaviors or some pedagogical approaches that can be adopted during class. And then the last theory is control value theory, and I use this theory because I want to link teachers' behaviors to students' foreign language enjoyment, which is the concept that I will discuss and analyze in my following essays. So I think this is a very clear logic flow, and I think based on the essays that I have written, I think this structure is very, very clear, and I think it represents, to some extent at least, a kind of mediocre or just relatively high level, or at least I can say I am satisfied with this structure, and I can tell this structure to other people. I think I can persuade them to think that my logic and my structure is convincing. So this is my research progress and this is the like well, this is what I have done or what I will do in the future about my research, and I will tell you my research progress every day, and I hope I can also record my my progress, and I think it's a very meaningful thing to record my step-by-step progress every day. So today I'll move to the next part, which is the results part. And there are 4 chapters in the results part, each answering one research question. And those 4 parts are, first, the relationship between foreign language enjoyment and foreign language classroom anxiety. Second is change of FLE and FLCA over time. Third is the independent variables linked to FLE and FLCA at different points in time. And fourth is the effect of gender on FLE and FLCA. So since the present study's focus and the weight of data analysis is different from the one in my essay, so I shall firstly jump to the next part, and after writing my essay, I'll certainly introduce the results part of this study. Or I can say it in another way, since this kind of result is not closely related to my research aim or my purpose, which is, developing a new pedagogical approach for near-peer teachers. So this kind of results, is quite different from the one that I will report in my own essay. So this is why I think it will be clever to save more time and omit this part. And I have to say that every scholar or every researcher absolutely need to understand the data presented in other people's essay, especially some parameters. For example, what is K value or what is P value? So what is the meaning of a certain what is the meaning of a certain number? So as researchers, we absolutely need to understand those meanings in order to have a deep understanding of the results part. Even though we can understand that from the the discussion part, I think we still need to, at least know the meaning of different numbers or different values or parameters. But I think I'll just leave this part in the future, because now I need to save more time to read essays which are directly linked or directly associated with my my current essay. So this is the results part. In the discussion part, I think the discussion part has already provided me with something that I can learn from. And you can see the discussion part follows a very clear structure. And I will firstly introduce the overall structure. So firstly, the discussion part, was about the 4 research questions. Like I can just directly quote the author's some of the author's sentences here. Quote first, the first research question focused on. Second, the second research question dealt with. And third, the third research question allows us to. Fourth, the final research question dealt with. So you can see, that those 4 sentences are the beginning sentences of separate paragraphs. So you can see the author firstly retold the 4 research questions, and especially put those 4 research questions at the very beginning of some paragraphs. So you can regard this as a kind of topic sentence. So in my discussion part, I will also arrange this kind of structure in this way. I'll put the topic sentence at the very beginning, and I think this can tell the readers your structure very clearly. And also, you can also help yourself to arrange your results. Since your result is also reported in line with the research questions, so I think it is very clever for researchers to further discuss following the same logic. So I think this is the first thing that I can learn from this essay. So after those four topic sentences, after those paragraphs, then the author, in the following paragraphs, they addressed the limitations of the present study and the contributions or explanations that counterbalance the limitations. So when they are, telling their limitations, they are not merely, committing some. They are not just admitting some mistakes or some, just some limitations in their essay, but actually they showed that those kind of limitations are inevitable, and secondly, theoretically, you can certainly address those limitations, but in practice, you will face, some problems which are listed in the essay. So it is nearly impossible for researchers in practice to find some better ways to deal with this limitation. So, you can see the gaps between theories and reality. So theoretically speaking, this limitation can be addressed, but in practice, the author listed some difficulties that you might encounter, or you will have a high possible to encounter those difficulties. So this is the way that the author tried to confess their limitations, but not only admitting their limitations, they are also, utilizing their limitations to prove that their essay is delicately designed, or this is probably one of the best ways to conduct such an experiment. Indeed, I have to confess that every study, including my own research, we all have limitations in our research, but how are we supposed to firstly use reality conditions or some other theories to counterbalance this kind of a limitation is something that is very important for us to think about. So this is the thing that I can learn from the limitation part. So then I will introduce this part paragraph by paragraph, and let me see. Oh, I have 10 more minutes, so I think probably time is enough. So paragraph 1, firstly, the authors retell research question 1's focus. Quote, the first research question focused on a certain thing, and then moved to the second sentence. So the second sentence is about the results. So the results part start from correlation analysis reviewed. So this is here. So this is where the author presents the results part. And after this sentence, the authors they further explain the results in plain expression, or in a way that can be easily understood by general readers. So, quote, in other words, then the author explained the correlation analysis results. Well, this is absolutely a major function of the discussion part, because you need to tell the readers how to understand this data, just like what I've said. Even though researchers absolutely need to understand different parameters, but we have to say that sometimes we probably cannot understand each of them, and some parameters or some values are not frequently used. So many times we will find that we cannot fully understand the results part because there are simply too many different values and parameters which are very distracting. So this is the function of the discussion part. Use easy and plain expressions to discuss your results and tell the readers how you interpret this result, and tell the readers tell the readers what the results can show. But you need to, you need to just make a difference, or draw a clear line between explaining the results and just explaining the result with some kind of theories, because the results part is about different numbers. If you use some simple words to illustrate that kind of numbers, then you are doing something within the limit of discussion. But if you, if you utilize some theories to illustrate or further explain this kind of result, you are doing this out of the limit of this part, because this is only the third sentence in the first paragraph of the result part. If you want to utilize some theories or some other materials to further discuss your findings, then it's probably sentence 5 or 6 function or their responsibility instead of sentence 3. So sentence 3, you only use simple words to retell the results instead of explaining that result. You're just using some words to describe or explain that kind of complicated numbers. You just imagine a reader who doesn't know anything about the numbers, then you use this kind of plain words to tell them your findings. So this is the function of this sentence. It's quite different from using theories or some some theories to explain your findings. It's just the functions or the responsibilities of different sentences within this paragraph, and this is this thing that I will introduce in my in my following explanations. So here we have already concluded the third sentence in paragraph 1, and the fourth sentence is the thing that I have mentioned. The author linked their findings, which have already been mentioned in the second and the third sentence, and they further linked their findings to other claims or ideas or theories. Quote, they said, quote, "This further reinforces the argument that," blah, 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 a kind of statement. So you can see they started to link this kind of findings to other theories or other argument. Well, you can see that firstly, this is a proof that their results can have a conversation with the existing studies, which shows that their results are not very weird or strange. It is their results are acceptable, and their results are aligned with the existing studies, which is a kind of proof to show the convincing, to show how convincing the results are. And the second, I think, is to utilize some kind of claims to further explain their results. So this is a kind of mutual process, because you said your findings align with another claim, and such a claim can prove that your findings is acceptable in the current studies, and also your findings your findings your findings are added with some theoretical values. So it's just like a mutual relationship. So this, I think, is also a very important part, because just like the author said here, they connected their findings to another claim or another argument instead of a kind of theory. So in the discussion part, you can connect your findings to a kind of claim or findings of other studies, and also you can connect your findings to some theories and to utilize that kind of theory to explain your findings, to explain why you have already reached that kind of results. So these are two different lines that you can try to follow, and you can just regard them as two different techniques that you can utilize when writing the discussion part. Well, I think this is extremely important, because you absolutely need to have a conversation or join the conversation of the existing studies. Otherwise, you cannot show the contributions of your academic study, and you can absolutely not show that you're academically significant. I mean, if you cannot show your contribution to the existing studies, then how are you supposed to be accepted by journals or other publications? So this is a very, very important techniques to link your findings with other findings or other theories. So the fifth sentence, the author used studies to prove their claims. As Dewell and McIntyre argued. Well, this is similar to the fourth sentence. And the last sentence here used another study to explain the previous one. So sentence 6 is, in other words, blah blah blah, which further explained like sentence 5 or sentence 4. So you can see the structure is very simple, but you can see different writing techniques embedded in this part. So we can certainly learn from the author here. And now it's 10:30 at night, and I've already received a message which is about the water supply tonight will how to say the water supply tonight will stop, or I don't know. I'm not quite sure how to say this kind of condition here in English. I'll just describe this, because the water supply here is unstable tonight, and probably the supply will stop or be will be cut at probably 12 o'clock late at night. So I have to go back to dormitory and do the washing. And actually, I haven't finished this part about the discussion part. I still have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those paragraphs, and there are totally 7 paragraphs here in the discussion part. And I will try to finish this part tomorrow, because they basically follow the same structure, but you can also distinguish some differences among different paragraphs. So this is the major task of tomorrow. And tomorrow I will also tomorrow is Saturday, and I will spend the whole day writing my essay. And I hope I can finish the second chapter of the literature review. And tonight, I've already found some some studies about the 3 theoretical foundations of PRTB, and I will print them and I will read them and I will write about them. And actually, I have already read some of them before, but I haven't printed them out. So I think I'm still a reader who is used to who is used to reading paper books or printed versions. So I think I will just print them out, and tomorrow I will use them to serve as the theories to construct the PRTB teaching approach, or the pedagogical approach. Well, so this is basically what we have today, and I really hope to see you tomorrow, and I really hope everything goes well. And I think today is a lucky day because I've finished the first chapter of the literature review, and I'm very satisfied with my overall structure. And so I think everything goes well tomorrow, and I hope I can still be very lucky. Well, this is the end of today, and this is MSY's Research Notes. See you tomorrow. Good night.